Alright then, hello everyone and welcome back to the Assetto Corsa Offline Championship. We are here for round number 12 of the 2021 Formula 1 World Championship, which takes us across the Atlantic to North America and to the capital of Mexico here at the Autodromo Hermanos Rodriguez for the Mexico City Grand Prix. Yes, Formula 1 is back. The European leg is now officially finished. We've got 5 rounds to go in this Formula 1 season, and the championship is close as always. My name is Miran in the commentary booth, as we have about 12 minutes of the first stage of qualifying ahead of us, and joining me is none other than my partner in crime, Giuseppe. Good afternoon to you.
Good afternoon, Miran. Yeah, we're out of Europe, as you've told us. Now we're heading into, now Central America, then we're heading to Brazil, and then for the final few rounds in the Middle East. For now, though, let's focus here at the Autodromo Hermanos Rodriguez. Always a nice one to come back to. Long straights, but tricky turns, and also very nice corners as well, very nice atmosphere, so it's always nice to go back here.
Yes, of course, this track does provide quite the challenge, as I said, lots of tricky corners, but now that we actually are talking about the track, it gives me a nice little segue to giving you a bit of track info. So, the Autodromo Hermanos Rodriguez, located in Mexico City, Mexico. The track was opened in November of 1959 and was originally called the Autodromo Magdalena Mijuca, named after the public park in which it was located. It was later renamed to the Autodromo Hermanos Rodriguez after the two Mexican racing brothers, Ricardo and Pedro Rodriguez, who would unfortunately pass away in separate racing-related accidents. So the track was renamed in the two Rodriguez brothers' honor. But the track hosted Formula 1, its first ever Formula 1 Grand Prix in 1962 as a non-championship event, and the following year it became a full World Championship event in 1963, and it remained a part of the Formula 1 calendar all the way up until 1970, when it was dropped due to spectator overcrowding. It returned in 1986 following a refurbishing of the track, but it was dropped in 1992 due to safety again, and it followed another redesign in 2001, where we saw Kart, the predecessor to IndyCar, come here for the first time in 2002, and that would run all the way up until 2007, I do believe it was. And then it rewent another refurbishing in 2015, when it was announced that Formula 1 would finally return to the Autodromo Hermanos Rodriguez. And it has run here ever since 2015, the Mexican Grand Prix, apart from 2020. And now, in 2021, it was renamed the Mexico City Grand Prix. And this layout, which has been in place since 2015, is 4.304 kilometers long and features 17 turns with a race lap record of a 117.7. And yeah, this track is pretty interesting. It's got a few tricky corners, a lot of fast ones, a lot of sharp ones as well. Every sector is different from each other. I think that's the one thing I really do like about this track. Sector 1, obviously, very, very sharp braking zones. Lots of 90-degree corners, especially if you look at the turn 4, 5, and 6 complex. Lots of sharp braking zones. You really have to get the car around. Then you look at the Sector 2, it's way more flowing. Lots of S's, and it's just left-right corners. And then into Sector 3, obviously, the stadium in which the track goes through the atmosphere is always electric through that sector. It's a lot of low-speed corners, lots of tricky corners to nail as well. Yeah, I think the track ties together very, very nicely indeed. As I've given my opinion on the track, and obviously, Giuseppe, I'd like to ask you as well what you make of this track.
Well, of course, as I said beforehand, I mean, yeah, tricky corners, like you have the S's, where of course the grip of the Formula 1 cars just shows But you have also long straights like the main straight, which you see Shuto coming across right now, and many other drivers as well, like Toss, for example. It's very. I think it's a track that offers a lot of different corners. I mean, after this long straight, you've got another DRS zone. So it's a very interesting track. A lot of interesting corners as well. Also, the last corner coming out of a bit of a, which I think on an alternate layout is actually sort of a Parabolica-esque corner. But in this corner, of course, we have the stadium section. Of course, also a very nice section, which we see probably the most diehard fans sitting in. And I think it's probably the one of the coolest sections of the track, ambience-wise, I would say, because you've got the stadium, all the people there. But and nonetheless, we already have the. That's my opinion. The track I think is pretty nice, and I hope it brings us very good racing. For now, though, we're looking at the one lap pace of these 20 drivers, and this is well, as you can see on screen, all 20 drivers have set a time. First, we have Farina, actually very impressive. He's sitting there in P1. Then we have Graf and Sasnishka. So the Ferraris are looking very good.
Yes, indeed. And just saying that, Dennis Graf has actually taken provisional, or not provisional pole, it's on the Q1, the fastest time away from Luca Farina. Your bottom 5, though, as Alex Brosser improves up into 8th at the moment, is Daniel Wale, followed by Josef Frederic Schuto, Franco Gamba, Victor Album, and Daniel Fraser. So, Daniel Wale down there is a bit of a surprise. Same with Josef Frederic Schuto in the McLaren in 17th. He would definitely not want to get knocked out of Q1 here, and Franco Gamba as well, who's not been having the greatest of seasons, certainly wouldn't want to go out here as well. One pretty surprising performer, though, is Miran Evji in 11th. I believe he's failed to make Q2 on every single occasion this season, so if he does make that, that's going to be pretty nice from him.
Of course, the former Formula 1 racer and race winner as well. Hasn't that the best of, well, temporary returns to Formula 1 as he's filling in for when we had that driver change between Mandic and Farina, filling in for the Italian. But, of course, who will replace him next season, still a lot of discussion behind it, but it's looking very interesting as who that second Alpha seat will go to. As well as the first. I mean, we don't know because, of course, you know how diverse the F1 transfer market can be. But, yeah, there was something I wanted to say, but I forgot. So you go on while I think about it.
Yeah, but obviously now that we're approaching the final few races of the season, obviously the talks about the transfer market and who's gonna go where, and well, obviously all the rumors are starting to heat up now. Especially considering we've got a really good basis on how everyone is performing at the moment. So, yeah, we'll be interested to see who's going to fill out that second Alfa Romeo seat. Obviously, there's a lot of talents coming through Formula 2 at the moment. We'll see if any of those might take it, or if anyone, maybe outside Formula 2 even, could try and take that spot. It's a lot of different things going on at the moment, but we can only wait and see until the official announcements start to roll in.
Yes, now I remembered. I was going to talk about the championship actually, because I've done my math. 26 times 5 is 130, which means only the top 8 is currently able to challenge for the championship. So that you can see it's coming to a close, and after this race, it probably will close down once again, as because, I mean, Kulasec and McIntyre are both on nearly the edge of, well, mathematically challenging for the championship. But, yeah, we'll see how it unfolds. But the season is truly coming to an end. Of course, the main protagonists have been the man in, the men in the Mercedes of Johansson and Parashki. I mean, they've been the protagonists as well last season, if you remember. It's always been against. It's always nice to see them battle. They're like two insanely talented drivers, and probably the most talented of all of ACOC since its creation. Essentially, I would probably go as far to say that. So it's always nice to see just two top drivers battling it out for the championship, and seeing them 26 points separated from each other. It's really like very insane thing to think about. And not to count out as well, Klaus is only 28 points off. So if he can keep up good form, let's see how he will do.
Yeah, and obviously Alfred Klaus, who was rewarded with a second win of the season following Jesper Johansson's time penalty at Istanbul, could properly get himself up there if he does well in these final 5 races of the season. But yeah, I have to say, once again, Johansson and Paraschke put up an absolute delight. Jesper Johansson, who has been, I mean, statistically one of the greatest drivers of all time, if not the greatest of all time. You can argue about that how much you like. And then Enis Paraschke, who's been looking to break that dynasty ever since he's come into Mercedes. He's put out brilliant performance after brilliant performance and really cemented himself as one of the greats as well in only 2 seasons' time. I have to say Paraschke is just nothing short of incredible in that Mercedes. And this championship fight so far has been an absolute delight to witness between Johansson and Paraschke, constantly going back and forth. Really, really exciting to see. And yeah, we'll just have to wait to see how these final 5 races of the season are gonna play out. But enough about that. Let's focus on qualifying here at Hermanos Rodriguez at Han, as we're looking at Daniel Wale, who's gonna go across the line, and it's 15th for Daniel Wale. Will Parrish has just gone fastest in the Alpha Tauri. Brilliant lap from Will Parrish, goes ahead of the Red Bull senior car of Dennis Graf. Impressive stuff from Will Parrish once again. But that is the bottom 5 confirmed then. It is Alexander Arnold, followed by Tomas Mandic, Franco Gamba, Victor Albom, and then Daniel Fraser, as we're just having the final 4 cars coming across the line.
It's looking good for Gamba, as his teammate has well overshadowed all of his performances nearly this season. So now he's in the pits, so he's going to be out of Q1 once again. Now let's see McIntyre. He's sitting in 4th there. He's pretty much safe. Let's see if he wants to do an improvement, though, just to try a sort of an intimidation tactic to, I don't know, but might be as well that he comes back into the pits, as I would argue he's pretty much safe. But yeah, Parrish up into P1. Great lap by the American driver in the Alpha Tauri. But yeah, McIntyre comes around to, oh, I guess he already did this lap. So Assetto Corsa was just playing with us, but nonetheless, the drivers out are Alexander Arnold in the Williams, Thomas Mandic in the Aston Martin, Franco Gamba, and then the 2 Hases of Victor Albom and Daniel Fraser. Daniel Wale just about made it through. Of course, he did improve up to 15th, I think, or well, I think he did improve, but he was very close to him getting knocked out. But he managed to get through, as well as FG. So it's Alpha with both cars in Q2. So good start to the weekend. And otherwise, I don't know, just to think Gamba should not be finishing there in Q1. Especially considering what, I mean, his teammate, of course, I think he was in between 15th and 11th. But even then, well, it just happens, I guess, that there are some days off. Although, I'm talking here, I'm willing to be proved wrong later on in the race. If he can make up a lot of positions, we'll have to see, and essentially then we'll find out. But now then, in any instant, we'll move on to Q2. If you're wondering where my partner in crime went, he went to have dinner real quick, so I'll just take over for just a second or two. As we're gonna wait for, well, fastest cars on the planet essentially to come back out once again and set their fastest times in Q2 to then determine who will be in Q3 here in Mexico City. But yeah, impressive stuff by Parrish. I have to talk about it as well, because you wouldn't. Of course, it's Q1, so teams, especially the top teams, are not going all out. But it's still a sign of pace. As here we are back. First car on track, Daniel Wale. So he's gonna try and set him up as first car, trying to get some fresh air. Of course, this qualifying session we have 10 minutes in comparison to, I think Q1 is 12. So this time around only 10 minutes for the drivers to set the quickest time they can. As well as I want to share something with you guys that I actually didn't know, even though it might sound stupid that I didn't know that. But the Mexico City track actually has corner names, and it might sound funny, but I didn't know that as well. But I guess I can introduce you to some of them. For example, the one where Wally just went to is called Horquilla. And it actually helps my pronunciation as well, as I am learning Spanish right now, but that's too much personal stuff from me. Nonetheless, or for example, the S's are called S's, and then this straight is called the Recta del Ovalo. And the stadium section, I think one of the corners is called Foro Sol, the one where Daniel Walla will go through now. So always interesting, because I actually didn't know, because it's a very known track. I just never see the real life commentators you think about Crofty, and never really see them mentioning the corner names. I might be wrong, maybe they have, but me personally, I never heard them. But for example, this straight is known as the Recta Principale, and then the first corner, no, the second and third corner is known as the SS Moises Solana. So I hope I'm teaching you guys something, as we have Vale going through the SS I just mentioned, and this is the Recta Trancera. So there you go. Now you know some of the Mexico City corner names. And this is the last one with a corner name. It's called S del Lago. So I guess Lake S, the S of the lake. Anyways, interesting names. I didn't know that, but I guess we found out together maybe, or some of you maybe did know that. As I'm gonna switch back to actual qualifying action, because Wale now is on his lap, so he's gonna, as I did mention beforehand, he was the first car to go on the track, so he's gonna set the benchmark lap. They're gonna see how the other 14 drivers will handle that set lap. So as now as he goes through the stadium section and into actually this is also another name, a corner with a name, Peraltada, and onto the finish line, which is very close to after the corner, and Vale 1:21.8. And Shuto actually sets a bit of a slower lap time, but still very close to Wale 1:22.083. Let's see how the other drivers will perform. I think some are coming out. I'm seeing on the minimap some are just now coming across to go on their lap. But says Nishkai there 1:21.5. That's the new lap time to beat. Let's see if anyone's gonna top that. Bruster 1:22.4. It's the slowest time thus far, but I'm sure with 6 minutes left, he will and can improve. Although that is to be found out. That's the first 4 times. And now in the last corner, I can see 2 cars will go across the finish line. I'm gonna find out soon enough who that will be. It's Kulasec. He is third with a 1:22.010. And Parachki with a 1:21.7. Sasnishka, surprisingly, is faster than the man in the Mercedes. So even if we saw in Q1, Ferrari was doing pretty well. So maybe this is one of the tracks where Ferrari will shine. But we'll have to find out, as quali isn't everything, of course, as their actual performance come in Q3, as Graf on provisional fastest time, provisional Q2 pole once again, 1:21.2, FG 6th, being tossed at that time as well. Shooter improves once again, 1:21.8, goes up to 6th, no 7th, because Parrish now, again, great lap time before Parrish. He seems to really be liking this track, as McIntyre up sets a 1:22.2. Farina there, 1:22.5. There is some room for improvement there for the man of the Ferrari. Adelberg, 1:21.5. The Alpha Tauris are having fun here. Sasnishka sets an improvement once again, but then Johansson, 1:21.2, and goes up to P2. But yeah, Graf is also liking this track. He did set the fastest time in Q1, if I recall correctly. And now he is on the top of the timing sheets once again. But yeah, that's the first 15 times. Let me tell you the danger zone. It's Kulasec in 11th, McIntyre in the 12th, Tost in 13th, Brosler in 14th, and Farina in 15th. I think Farina must have been held up, but he desperately needs to set a better lap time if he wants both of the Ferraris in the Q3, as Sasnishka with a 1:21.3, he could be safe. But all eyes now on Luca Farina here, as we're looking at him right now, as he goes through the SS. And then onto the straight. La Recta del Ovalo, there you go, you have the name. Soon enough, you're gonna head into the stadium section. Right now, he seems could be, not sure how that could go, but Shuto, right for now, sets an improvement up to P7. So FG also worth a mention. He's there in 10th, so maybe he could make Q3. McIntyre improves, but not enough for a positional improvement. And Farina up to 6th. So that lap was just a one-off beforehand, as now he sets a good enough lap to be in the top 10. He's safe for now. Although with 3.5 minutes left, three and a half minutes left, you know how fast Formula One is of a sport. So anything can change at any given second or millisecond. But yeah, Proster also sets an improvement, although not good enough to improve positionally. He's still sitting there in 15th. He'll go on another lap. Let's see if he can improve. Then we are looking at FG, who's right now sitting in 11th in the elimination zone. Ahead of him is his teammate Wallace, so improving could be both good for him, but also it's a bit of a difficult situation for the team if you have both cars in 10th and 11th, one in the danger zone and one in the elimination zone. I think somebody improved there. I think it was I'm not sure, but we'll have to see now as FG's. Oh no, FG. We're going back into the pits, so no improvement there. Wale does not improve. His time remains a 1:21.8, although he's still in the top 10. Parrish improves once again, 4th. So great showing there by the AlphaTauri's McIntyre. Just by the skin of his teeth, gets into the top 10. But I don't think that that time could very well be beaten, as he's very much on very close to getting knocked out. But if it stayed there, of course, that would be great for Lewis. And now Broster, let's see what he can do. Broster, it's a position improvement that only up one position ahead of Tost. He now has a 1:22.067, 2 milliseconds actually faster than Tost's lap time. So he's up into 14th. 2 minutes left now. We're reaching the end of Q2, as I think the drivers, if they come out now, they could have about 2 laps. See where they could end up. Yeah, Parachki also across the line once again, although it is not an improvement this time around. But he seems to be in a pretty good spot there in P4. He should be safe. Although the new elimination zone is Wale, FG, Kulasec, Proster, and Tost, with McIntyre just about in the top 10. Let's see if that will change soon enough, as Parashki is going to go on another lap. Let's see if he actually will finish it, but he seems to be on an improvement actually. So I would actually finish this lap if I were Ennis. Gonna find out what he does, as McIntyre actually sets an improvement. So now he's up one position. Shuto is now in 10th, so the McLarens are in 9th and 10th. Bit of a tricky situation for the Papaya team, who would like to both get through into Q3. As they've had a very strong season thus far, we have to admit, as they are actually in a very close fight with Ferrari, as McLaren have 142 points, meanwhile Ferrari is sitting just 2 points behind them. It's looking very close, very exciting fight for third in the Constructors' Championship. We're looking at Wale as well, as he could come now. Now he's on the straight. Let's see if he will finish the lap, or he will abort it. We'll have to find out as now he goes through the stadium section. Probably the most known section of the track. If you think about Hermanos Rodriguez, you do probably think about the stadium section. And now he's going to come through, the last corner now. He goes into the pits, so no improvement for Wale. I think that'll be him out in Q2, as no time for to come out. Shuto is probably is confident with his lap time. He says, "No, I'm gonna come in." Not sure. Let's see. Oh, okay. Checkered flag is now being waved. Let's see. McIntyre. He did not set an improvement. Kulasec, he could be an improvement. Let's see what he does. No, he is out in Q2. Janssen comes in once again. Sasnish guy. He's in third. He's pretty much safe, I'd argue. But let's see if he wants to go on an improvement. Yes, he does. He's going to finish this lap. Let's see what it will be. It's not an improvement, but I'd argue he's safe. Adelberg. AlphaTauri have actually been very, very strong here at this track. As you can see, Parrish and Adelberg were 5th and 6th. Adelberg, though, does not improve. What about FG? Oh, it does not improve. The Swede is out in Q2 as well. So now looking at graph, I'd say he's probably the safest of all. Let's see if he can actually maybe start an improvement just for fun. Let's see if he can get into the 120s, or will he come back into the pits? No, he's gonna finish the lap. Let's see what it will be. Not an improvement, but still a very solid lap time. And now McIntyre, I'd say he's safe because everyone in from 15th to 11th already set a lap time is in the pits. So McIntyre is safe. Yeah, he is. So I think the eliminated cars will be Wale, FG, so the two Alfa Romeos, Kulasec in the Alpine. So not the greatest day for Alpine. Usually you see them probably with one car in Q2 and one car in Q3. This time, no car will reach Q3. Then we have Broster in 14th and Tost in 15th. So yeah, that's the end of this of Q2. I already named the cars who have not made it to Q3. And in Q3 we have Dennis Graf, Johansson, Sasnishka, Parashki, the two Alfa Tauris, very strong showing, Farina, Klaus, and the two McLarens.
Yeah, pretty disappointing. Also, hello, by the way. Pretty disappointing from the two Alfa Romeos. I'd say they were very close to making it into Q3. Both Wale and FG will be starting P11 and P12. So not really a bad showing from Alfa Romeo, but I think they were chasing that Q3 appearance most definitely. Dennis Graf, though, has been looking very strong in Q1 and Q2, so I wonder if he is going to be able to carry that on to Q3.
Yeah, we'll have to find out as Dennis Graf. Last race he did score a podium actually. Red Bull did score a 1-2. So Red Bull is in a good form right now. They're 60 points behind Mercedes, so the constructors' fight for P1 isn't really dead. It's just that the two Mercedes, of course, in the top two in the driver standings is only Mercedes. So from that you can conclude that it will be Mercedes leading the constructor standings. But it's still not far off. But now we're gonna head on to Q3.
Yeah, and this is where the fight for pole is gonna be, obviously. So it's gonna be interesting to see. Obviously, the likes of Alpha Tauri and Ferrari do look pretty strong around here, but it has been Dennis Graf who has topped the timing sheets, as Alfred Klaus is the first man to make it out of the pit lane. Obviously secured pole position at Istanbul last time out. He'll be looking to make it another one here at Hermanos Rodriguez, and we'll see if he is going to be able to do that. But obviously all eyes today will be on Johansson and Parachki to see where they will qualify and who's going to qualify ahead of each other. Obviously, last season, we had, I believe it was Jesper Johansson. Yes, Jesper Johansson took pole and the race win at this track. And he is a two-time winner around here. First time we came here back in 2018, he won from pole. And I do think he won here 2019. No. I think... No, yeah, it was Dennis Graf who won here in 2019. Back then he was with Ferrari. And he won around here. But do you know who took pole for that 2019 race?
I actually wouldn't. I don't remember.
It was Luca Farina. Luca Farina did one race for Ferrari here 2 seasons ago, because at the race previously, Miran Evji was injured, or he picked up an injury, and he had to miss the Mexican Grand Prix. So Ferrari called up Luca Farina to race alongside Dennis Graf, and he actually took pole position for that race, but he couldn't take the race win, and he instead finished P2. So Farina actually does hold his only pole position at this track, so that might be saying something. So we'll see if Farina will be able to do anything around here. But Jesper Johansson is also very, very strong around this track. Dennis Graf is a race winner as well. So yeah, I don't really know if if we can predict who's gonna take the pole position here, as Klaus is just rounding the final couple of corners through the final corner, turn 16 and 17, the Peraltada, and just through the right-hander and across the line. It's a 1:22.255, which is going to be the time to beat for the rest of the field. And this is certainly gonna get interesting then to see how the likes of Graf and then the two Mercedes will stack up against this time from Alfred Klaus. Should have a few guys coming across the line. There's Jesper Johansson, immediately goes faster by 0.2 of a second. So Johansson does get himself ahead of Alfred Klaus. Lewis McIntyre, 10th slower than the Red Bull. So he is the slowest out of the three that are set times. I think
Yeah, of course.
gotten... Sorry, go on.
No, of course, I was to say, Q3 always interesting because these laps we're setting now, probably will only see one or two more of them to do the limited time you have. That's what's always interesting about Q3. You really just need the perfect lap to get it, to stick it up on the top spot. But yeah, Adelberg actually, solid there in P4. Actually, Parachki behind him, interestingly.
That's not a good lap from Enis Parachki. By his standards, he's 0.4 off his teammate Jesper Johansson. And that is, look at that, Lavazas Nishkai now goes up into P5. He's gone ahead of Parachki. Klaus sets an improvement, but he isn't able to challenge Johansson. Schuto goes up into second. He now separates the two Swedes. Great lap from Josef Fredrik Schuto. Luca Farina, though, hasn't had the greatest of laps. He's down in P9, and he's only 1,000 of Will Parrish. And Dennis Graf can only manage third at the moment. So it is Johansson who is on provisional pole. He just came into the pit lane. And Josef Fredrik Schuto is in second. And Enis Parachki, he's down in 8th.
I mean, I think if you remember last time around in Turkey, he didn't have that good of a qualifying session as well. I'm not sure what's happening to Enis, but of course, I'm not going to speak too soon, as he does have one more chance or two more chances left. But yeah, Graf was looking strong in Q1 and Q2, now only sits in third, after Johansson has a pretty solid lap time of 1:22.074. Schuto, surprisingly, they're up there in P2.
Yeah, Josef Fredrik Schuto doing very, very well for himself. And obviously this is going to be good for him after after a pretty good outing at Istanbul. We'll see if Schuto is going to be able to pull anything off here. Luca Farina then is going to come across the line. Let's see if he's going to improve, and that's P5 for Luca Farina. Gets himself ahead of his teammate Lavas Nishka, and it feels like the first time in a pretty long while we've seen both Ferraris into Q3. This is a pretty Ferrari track. Obviously they've won around here, and they do have a pole position courtesy of the man we're just looking at right now. So yeah, it's good to see that they're performing, but it is Farina who is leading his teammate Zasnishkai.
Yeah, of course, I think though that the Ferrari, we did see some strong performances in Q1 and Q2. Let's see if they can actually set a better lap and get themselves even up further. But of course, Ferrari right now, still solid qualifying from them. I think there is a bit more in it though. We're gonna find out though as we're looking at Klaus. Now we're looking at Parrish. Parrish, who surprisingly got the pole in quotation marks in Q1. Now sitting in 10th. But yeah, strong showing by AlphaTauri today. Let's see if they can improve upon it. As Parrish is gonna answer my question for me here. It's gonna come across penultimate, and then the last corner. Parachki improves to 5th. There's improvement for the Mercedes driver. What about Parrish? We're gonna find out soon enough. Here's the finish line. Not an improvement.
Yeah, and Johansson and Schuto, along with Eric Adelberg, are all in the pit lane, so they will not be going out again. Luca Farina comes into the pit lane. It's P6 for the man who took pole here 2 seasons ago. Dennis Graf, though, let's see if he's going to finish up this lap or if he's going to call it a day. And Graf calls it a day. He comes in. It will not be the pole for Dennis Graf here at Hermanos Rodriguez. Next across the line will be Lewis McIntyre with 5 seconds to go. He's just going to get time for another lap if he feels like it, but on this one, he doesn't improve. Checkered flag is now out then, and we're waiting for 6 cars to go across the line. And the big question will be then, is anyone gonna be able to topple Jesper Johansson here? And Enes Paraschke certainly would want to be the man to do that, as he is only 6 points behind his teammate Jesper Johansson. We're going to see if he is going to be able to do it now, as he just rounds the final couple of corners. Will Paraschke even finish this lap up? He will, as he's going to round the final corner. Will Paraschke be able to get an improvement on this lap? No, he will not, and it's going to be P5 at best for Enes Paraschke.
Paris come across the line inside of the pool. What about Sasnishka here? Only up to 8th. So that's the AlphaTauris. They're in 10th and 9th. Let's look at McIntyre now. His teammate is up there in 2nd, though in the pits. See if McIntyre can bring himself close to Josef Frederik Schuto. So he's now down the straight and now soon enough gonna enter the same section. What can Lewis do here?
Yeah, this is going to be interesting. Klaus went across the line. He couldn't do it either. So it's looking more and more certain for a Jesper Johansson pole. As we're going to say, Lewis McIntyre, then one final attempt for the Brit as he's going to come across the line. What's it going to be for McIntyre? It's no improvement from the Brit. He will stay in 7th. And that is a pretty disappointing outcome for Lewis McIntyre compared to his teammate Josef Frederik Schuto. And I think that is it. Just waiting for, it says 1 car, but I think everyone is finished. Yeah, there it is, and on pole position here at Hermanos Rodriguez, who else but Jesper Johansson to take pole position here for the Mexico City Grand Prix.
A great showing by Jesper. I mean, what do you expect from a double world champion?
Yeah, and again, Johansson proving that this is his circuit. 2-time race winner around here, and yeah, well, safe to say, if things have played out like they have in recent years, then I think we should be in for something quite expectable. But yeah, this is good for Jesper Johansson. He's now got a pretty big gap between himself and Enes Paraschke. He's got both Red Bulls and a McLaren between him. So Johansson, all he's going to focus on today is just to try and keep it clean, keep it going to the end, and just finish ahead of Enes Paraschke, obviously in the race lead. But the question is then, if Josef Frederik Schuto could do something here today.
It's going to be very interesting to know. I mean, Schuto, this season, he is already a race winner, but can he make it double? Or can he even get another podium? As his only podium this season was, in fact, his race win at Silverstone. But another podium would certainly cement his season to be, well, apart from his greatest yet, a very solid season by the Slovakian.
Yeah, I have to say, Josef Frederik Schuto has been so good this season. He's been absolutely on it. Scored points in every single race he's finished, bar one. He's just been so good now that he's finally in competitive machinery once again. So it's great to see that he's finally getting the chance that he deserves up there. And he is shining in that McLaren as well.
Although let's see what his teammate McIntyre will be able to do as well. Of course, he's not been in the best run of form. 2 DNFs and 1 non-points finish in the last 3 races. But he's starting in the top 10 now. Let's see if he can make up for it.
Yeah, McIntyre, he's had a rough last 3 races. 2 DNFs and obviously no points at Monza for McIntyre. He'll be looking to try and change that around here at Hermanos Rodriguez, as we're now ready for the race. But before we do that, it is time to go through the qualifying grid before lights out to the Mexico City Grand Prix. And on pole position here at Mexico, it is Jesper Johansson, who I believe claims his 2nd pole position of the season. Yes, 2nd. He lines up P1 here at Hermanos Rodriguez, and accompanying him on the front row, it is Josef Frederik Schuto in the McLaren. Brilliant qualifying from the Slovakia once again. It's an all Red Bull 2nd row, as Dennis Graf is 3rd with Alfred Klaus in 4th. Then it's Enes Paraschke lowly 5th today. We'll see what he is going to be able to do then, as Luca Farina will be starting P6 with Lewis McIntyre in P7. Then it is Lamaz Nishkai in 8th, as the two AlphaTauris round out the top 10 with Eric Adelberg in 9th and Will Parrish in 10th.
And now, just outside the top 10, we find the two Alfa Romeos of Daniel Wale in front, Daniel Wale Milan FG, with Daniel Wale being in front, with the Kulasic then in 13th and Broster in 14th. Then we find Fernando Tost in 15th, and then in 16th we find Alexander Arnold, and in 17th we find Mandic. In 18th we have the other Alpine of Franco Gamba, and in 19th and 20th we have the two Haas drivers of Victor Albon and Daniel Fraser.
Yeah, and that is the grid set then. We're ready to go racing for 39 laps around the Autodromo Hermanos Rodriguez as the lights are coming on. And we're underway here in Mexico City. It's a good getaway from Josef Frederic Schuto. He's about equal off the line with Jesper Johansson. Think one of the Red Bulls behind got a bit of wheel spin, so I think they might be side by side with each other. But Schuto is going to try and seize this opportunity now. Heading down into turn number 1. He's going to be on the inside line, and Jesper Johansson jumps over the curb though, but he's still wheel to wheel with Jesper Johansson as we head down. The Trancera straight now into Ese del Lago. It's going to be Johansson who leads for Schuto, not before the McLaren man tries a dive to the inside line of Jesper Johansson, but it doesn't quite work for Josef Frederic Schuto just yet, and he has to stay behind in second.
The Alpina is going to try and move to get himself up some positions onto Graf. That was a move down the inside, although it doesn't work out. Wale got himself up into the top 10. He's now going to try and get himself into 9th as well. Battling Adelberg through the S's and then onto the straight. Who will come out on top? Seems like Adelberg can keep the position for now. But Wale has split up the AlphaTauris. He's now in the points paying position. As now look, Sasnishkai and McIntyre are fighting for P7. See what comes out of this. Sasnishkai is going to go around the outside. We should turn to the inside. And then into the inside once again. But no, he drops off. And he stays there in P8.
Yeah, Zasnishka tried it there. I think McIntyre ran wide, but Zasnishka isn't able to do anything there. Lewis shut the door on him and he wasn't able to get past, and now he hasn't got the greatest of runs. Here comes Eric Adelberg then onto Zasnishka into turn number 1. They're just gonna be wheel to wheel then. Zasnishka, I think, moved over a tiny bit there, but heading into turn number 1, they are wheel to wheel, and through turn 2, Adelberg just skipped over the curb there in the first corner. There's been a crash in the back, and that's Will Parrish.
Oh, that's a big line. That's a big pile up.
Oh, and that's not going to be good at all for Will Parrish, the man who's been so good. Milan MG seems to be involved in it. So is the two Alfa Romeos. That is a massive shame, and MG is out here at Mexico City, and so is Will Parrish. What happened there?
So just side note, Arno seems to be promoted up to the top 10 as well.
We'll have to get a view of this again. And they make contact with each other. I think that was unnecessary from Daniel Wall. I think he put way too much on a squeeze. I don't think Parrish had anywhere to go there.
Look at it from Waller's own board. I mean, he could have. I'm not sure about this one. I don't think Parrish. I mean, he was on pretty much. Where else could he have gone? And Waller, I think, turned in a bit too much, and he hit. And then he hit FG, trying to. Okay, no. Let's look at FG. Let's see what happened to him as well, because he's retired. Where's his team? He was hit from his teammate.
That is unlucky. Just tagged the back of his teammate there. Just got tangled up in that. That's a big shame. And now Alfa Romeo have absolutely ruined the race for them. What seemed to be really, really promising in qualifying has just turned into despair here at Hermanos Rodriguez. So yeah, that is quite the shame. But we go back to the action then. Dennis Graf was rather close to his teammate Alfred Klaus. So yeah, I think something might be brewing up there. Josef Frederic Schuto is trying to keep it within a second of Jesper Johansson. As speaking of, Johansson has just had a fast lap of the race, so he is looking to pull away from this pack.
So on this lap now, DRS will be available, so that will make Schuto's job a bit easier if he can get into the activation zone, and then can, well, challenge Janssen for the lead potentially. Gonna see, no DRS this time for Shuto.
Yeah, not into here, I don't think, as he heads down into Esse del Lago. And Shuto, yeah, you can see he's just almost dropping outside a second. He is outside a second now as we're looking at Franco Gamba. I think he was involved in that accident regarding Wallen Parish. So, yeah, he's dropped back a bit as well. As we're now looking at Luca Farina. He's chasing down Enis Parashki, who seems to struggle to keep up with Dennis Groff. This is quite shocking.
Yeah, Parashki, of course, does not want to be there in 5th, as Johansson right now, including fastest lap point, would gain 16 laps. No, it's not laps, sorry, 16 points onto, well, Enis Parashki here. That would not be, well, the ideal scenario which Enis is hoping for. And we're gonna look though at Labas Nishkai down the straight. He's chasing after McIntyre. They had a battle beforehand, although now there is DRS. So let's see what Nishkai can make of this.
And heading into turn 1, he's gonna have to stay behind for the time being. Maybe try and set himself up for moving to the later corners then. As he is gonna have no DRS into here. I swear there was a DRS zone into here, as Kulasek is now side by side with Daniel Fraser, who's made it up into 13th. Kulasek though is going to try to get past the Haas on the outside line, then heading into Esse del Lago. It's going to be Kulasek on the inside line trying to get the Haas, and into Orkia it's going to be Wojtek Kulasek who gets up into 13th, and Gamba as well does get past Victor Albomas. Look at this! Now you have Josef Fredrik Schuto. He's actually catching up to Jesper Johansson.
An interesting situation here. So with the DRS, they're now going to head into lap 5. Schuto will have the DRS, as already mentioned. Let's see what he can make of it.
Yeah, he's going to be gifted that sweet DRS heading down the start-finish straight now. There it is, and he's actually set the fast lap of the race, Josef Fredrik Schuto. So not bad going at all from the Slovakian. Chasing down what could be his second race win in his career. As we go a bit further down the field, Labas Nishkai chasing down Lewis McIntyre. Battle for 7th brewing as McIntyre struggles to keep up with Zasnishkai's teammate Farina, as I think Zasnishkai went a bit deep into that corner. I think it was a bit too late on the brakes, and I think he's lost time as a result. That's going to bring Erik Adelberg behind closer, so Zasnishkai will have to watch out behind. He can't keep making silly mistakes like that. Going a bit further up the field then, Josef Fredrik Schuto looks to drop outside of a second, and the man behind him, Alfred Klaus, certainly will hope that he does drop out of a second, because then Alfred Klaus behind will be granted the DRS, as Enis Parashki has now set the fastest lap of the race, so he is looking to catch up to these guys and try and pull off a bit of a comeback drive. So we'll see if Enis is going to be able to pull that off, as Klaus wasn't quite able to do anything there. So we're now looking at Alex Broster. Shame for Broster as well. Could have been on for something good as well, but he's going to try it onto his fellow compatriot Daniel Fraser. But none of the two, unfortunately, or not unfortunately, I guess unfortunately for Broster, don't swap positions. Heading into Esse del Lago, or out of Esse del Lago, and now into Orkia. It's gonna be Broster who's staying behind Fraser for the time being. Both of these guys obviously promoted from Formula 2 last season into F1 full-time. Proster, has he got the run on Fraser then into Recta del Vallo? Doesn't quite try just yet into the stadium section. He's going to have to stay behind for the time being, but he could maybe line up and move into turn 1 if he does get close enough and keeps this proximity to the Haas. Here's Klaus closing in with the DRS, but isn't quite able to try anything just yet. Schuto has dropped outside of a second now to just Jesper Johansson. Here's Alexander Arnold in the points. He's going to try to get Eric Adelberg now for 9th, as they're going to be side by side. Adelberg's going to hold off Arnold to the best of his capabilities, but the Formula 1 race winner is there on the inside line trying to make it stick now, as he's going to have the outside line through Orkia. It's Adelberg still on the inside line, but Arnold gets the better exit out of that and into the SS. They will be wheel to wheel now, as Adelberg's going to try to hold him off, and he does so. It's going to be Eric Adelberg then, who remains in 9th place with Alexander Arnold in 10th. But I think he's got quite a good run then, heading out of the SS. But no. Into the stadium section, nothing happens there, as Alfred Klaus now piling on the pressure onto Josef Frederik Schuto. He looks poised to strike, as he's now within DRS. 4/10 is the gap now, as he's closing in even further, and he should be able to go for it. He does go for it into turn number 1. They will be side by side, but I think Josef Frederik Schuto holds him off into turn number 2. And he certainly does so. Josef Frederik Schuto is going to be behind, and I think Klaus has got a poor run. Here comes his teammate Dennis Graf, as Graf is going to be wheel to wheel. The two Red Bulls dueling with each other now for the last step of the podium, as Graf is now on the inside line heading into Orkia. It's going to be Graf who's going to try to get the better of his teammate Alfred Klaus, but Klaus on the outside line is able to keep it equal with his teammate, as they're going to be wheel to wheel through the S's now, as it's going to be Graf on the outside line. Klaus tries to hold on to the best of his abilities, but it's going to be Dennis Graf, the world champion, who is going to get the better of his teammate Alfred Klaus and go up into 3rd. And now this brings Dennis Graf into 3rd. Now we'll see how this is going to affect things. Graf, or Schuto, sorry, was able to build a gap to the two Red Bulls following this battle, but now Dennis Graf, you can see he's at the fast lap of the race. He could now try and grab that second away from Josef Frederik Schuto. As obviously this is going to be important for Graf as well to finish ahead of his teammate. Here's Arnold though, once again trying it on to Eric Adelberg. Adelberg on the outside is going to try to hold off Arnold, as they will be side by side just about. No, not anymore, as Adelberg does hold off Alexander Arnold. Arnold tries a late lunge once again though. Is Adelberg going to be able to defend from the Williams? Yes, he does. And he remains in P9, Eric Adelberg, so not badly done from Eric Adelberg, the Swiss man.
Now we're gonna look at once again here. The two Red Bulls seem to be very close. Klaus being the one to try and challenge his teammate. Although I think they would probably should probably try and look to get Schuto, like the both of them try and work together so that they can get both Red Bulls on the podium. But we'll see how the team handles the situation.
Yeah, we'll see how it is going to go, as it's going to be Klaus with the DRS, but obviously his teammate ahead has it as well, so it doesn't really gain anything from that. But Dennis Graf, his sights are set to overtaking Josef Frederik Schuto and then potentially challenging Jesper Johansson for the race lead.
Yeah, Janssen now has kind of distanced himself from this pack here for P2. Not that much, but it's still 1.5 seconds to that's enough to not let Shuto into the DRS activation zone.
Yeah, it's gonna be pretty interesting then to see Dennis Graf 9/10 of Josef Fredrik Schuto. Klaus is closer to him than what he is to Schuto, so we could maybe see the teammate battle be reignited here if Dennis Graf would drop back even further.
You have to see, but again, the two rebels have to watch out as they want to go after Shuto, but they'll have to watch out for Parashki, who clearly wants to get ahead to minimize the damage that Johansson's win will do to him. Well, it depends if he actually ends up, but right now, this would be a very bad result for Enis Parashki. As I worded myself wrongly, that of course it's a long race still. You could see some challenges for the lead, but right now, the race were to end now, it would not look good for Parashki's title hopes.
Yeah, no, not at all. For Enis Parashki, so he's just gonna have to hope for a miracle, really. As here's Franco Gamba, then got past Victor Album. He's gonna try to get Daniel Fraser as well, as the two are gonna go wheel to wheel. It's gonna be Gamba on the inside line. It's gonna have the outside line though, heading down into Esse del Lago. And we'll see if he's gonna be able to get this one done then, as he's there on the outside line. He's gonna have the inside line now, heading into Orkia, and I think Franco Gamba will get it done into 15th. He goes.
Yeah, good move there by Gamba, trying to salvage, of course, a bit of a disappointing qualifying, but he's making some positions up. As well as now we're gonna cut back to the highlight battle, I guess we could say. Graf looks to be very close to Shuto. Let's see what he will make of this now with DRS wide open. Oh yeah, now the DRS opens. Forgot the activation zone. The activation zone is there. It's down the straight into the corner. Is he gonna try to have a look on the inside? Yes, he does. Into the first turn. Let's see what Graf can do here. Bit on the outside maybe. No, Shuto defends well. Although I think it's not the end of the story.
Yeah, I definitely don't think it is. Dennis Graf, I don't think he's going to line up a move into here. And he's going to have to stay behind for the time being. Enis Parashki in 5th looks to actually put a bit of pressure on Alfred Klaus. So, yeah, I think it would be for the best for Parashki if Graf actually starts pulling away from Klaus. Because then he'll drop Klaus out of DRS, and that will bring Parashki up another position. So we head into the stadium section now. It's gonna be Graf trying to get a good run at the final corner, trying to set himself up as best as possible. Gap is 6/10, so I'm not sure if anything is actually going to happen here.
Yes, now Graf once again with DRS. What will he do into the first turn? I think he's a bit too far off to try a move. Will he be? Yeah, no move tried just yet, but he has brought himself closer.
Yeah, he is quite a lot closer now. As heading down into Esse del Lago, we'll see if he can try anything. No, not quite. So Dennis Graf stays behind once again, runs a bit deep actually. And that's going to bring Alfred Klaus closer.
Let's see what happens here now. Now coming into the SS. Let's see what happens.
Yeah, Klaus is just going to have to hope to try and get the best exit possible here. They could maybe line up a move heading into the stadium section, as he seems to be pulling away a bit from Enis Parashki behind. So yeah, that's not good news for Parashki at all. But for Klaus, he'll be looking to try and get past his teammate once again. As here's Labas as Nishkai. So we look outside that top 5 pack. We've got Labas as Nishkai Still trying to get Lewis McIntyre. I think there is quite a bit of a train forming behind him right now.
Yes, now I think we've got about 1/3 of the race done. 2/3 more to go. Anything can happen, really. But now this is a bit of a battle for P7 here. I'm seeing, as we have McIntyre, Sasishkai, Adelberg, and Arnold are close. Look at Toss now. Oh, the two Aston Martin teammates fighting. See, Toss goes down the inside of the Mandich. What will happen here? Oh, they seem to be very close. Respect for racing though between the two teammates. So now gonna head onto the next straight. They're exactly side by side. Let's see what will happen to the next corner. Tossed on the outside. Can he make something of it? I think he might have to move. Yes, that's tossed up into 11th. And we have another teammate battle as well. Album now down the inside of Fraser. Will it work out for him? I don't think it will, but no, Album now cuts back to the inside. Will it work out now? I think Fraser's defending well, so it looks like it won't for now though. Album, I think, has to slot in behind, yeah.
Yeah, and that is gonna... I don't think Victor Album was or had any opportunities when he switched to the inside line. I feel like he was maybe trying a bit too much there. But, yeah, still pretty exciting to see teammate battles, and Album is still pretty close. And look at that, that's Fraser who ran wide. I think he locked up. And as a result, Album's now going to try it into the final corner. They will be wheel to wheel through the Peraltada. And yes, Victor Album gets it done.
So he did prove us wrong there. Great move. And now he's gone past his teammate in 16th.
Also, I would just like to mention one thing, Giuseppe. Fernando Tost set the fastest lap of the race.
Okay, that's interesting. Maybe he could try and go after Arnold, which would mean points for Aston Martin, which we did get last race with Thomas Mandich, but they would like to keep that streak going. So let's see if Tost can maybe make up enough time, because it is 3.5 seconds, and you know, in Formula 1 terms, that means a lot. So we'll have to see what happens there. But now we're gonna cut back to another exciting battle. Let's see Klaus. Can he make the move down the inside of the graph? Very close battle with the two teammates. Into the same section they go. Klaus is on the outside, Graf on the inside. Now to the inside for Klaus. Oh, very close, nearly close to contact there. Parashki now could join in as well. Let's see, he's gonna go around the outside. No, he's not gonna go around the outside yet. And I think the order stays the same, but no, look at that. Parashki's still gonna challenge for 4th.
Yeah, and here comes Dennis Parashki then, side by side with Alfred Klaus. Dennis Groff was just able to hang on there to that position, and now Parashki with the overspeed heading into turn number 1. He gets Alfred Klaus into the first corner, and Red Bull now compromised.
Yeah, now go on.
Yeah, here's Farina then. Could try it onto Alfred Klaus as well. Klaus could be dropped another position as the Ferrari of Luca Farina's there on the inside line. Heading into Arkia, it's going to be Farina on the inside line. Is he going to be able to get this one done then? As they will be wheel to wheel into the SS as well. Klaus is just able to go up and alongside him there. As they will be wheel to wheel. Farina, I think, was almost going to get boxed in by Parachki there in front, but they are side by side, and Klaus on the inside line, I think, will hold off Luca Farina, but Farina's still there. Then into the stadium section we go. Farina's there on the inside line, but he's going to have the outside into turn number 13, and I think as a result, it's going to be Klaus who remains ahead. Good defending from Alfred Klaus, and just holds off the Ferrari of Luca Farina. And I think Farina got caught up in the dirty air of Enes Parachki, which is the reason why he lost out on that battle. So Farina did get a bit unlucky with that one. Yeah, now it is Klaus remaining down in 5th, with Farina in 6th, and then Parachki in 4th. Still a very, very close battle here for P4 in this race. So yeah, Parashki can't quite breathe so easily just yet. Does run a bit wide. Parachki isn't quite able to catch up Dennis Groff just yet. But this is good news for Dennis Groff, obviously, as he can now just focus on chasing down Josef Frederik Schulte, at least for the foreseeable following laps. So, yeah, he'll just have to focus on offense, that is, unless Enis Parachki starts to catch up. As Klaus then is in the DRS of Parachki here, heading down into turn number 1. And at the moment just isn't able to do anything yet, as here's Asnishkai. Into turn 1 he goes. Not quite able to do anything just yet on Lewis McIntyre. And unfortunately the Serbian will have to stay behind. Lamas Asnishkai, who's been stuck behind that McLaren for so long now, just hasn't been able to get past him at all, and that's a pretty big shame because it's hindering him to get up there with his teammate Luca Farina, who has outscored him in every single race. They've been teammates this season so far, so Farina is absolutely on fire after his return to Ferrari. Klaus looking to get Enis Parachki, then Parachki still in DRS, where I don't think he's in DRS, I think he is outside of the 1 second range, so he won't get it into turn number 1, and that's good news for Alfred Klaus, because then he'll be able to close in a bit more. So yeah, best thing for Alfred is just to hope that Parachki floats outside of the 1 second range, and then he might be able to pull off an overtake with the help of DRS. Situation in the race lead then. Jesper Johansson leads by 2.1 seconds now from Josef Frederik Schulte, and then Dennis Groff in third, who doesn't seem to be able to keep up with Josef Frederik Schulte. The gap is about a second between the two, so Groff, if he wants a chance getting that second, this pace won't cut it for the Red Bull driver. Alfred Klaus, unfortunately though, his wishes didn't come true, and Parachki is now only 6/10 off Dennis Groff in third. So Enis Parachki is actually putting up the heat here, and could potentially challenge for the podium. So we'll see if he is going to do that, but that's not good news for Alfred Klaus. The fact that Parachki suddenly has just picked up the pace from nowhere, but he still seems to be keeping up with the Macedonian, so I guess it's not that bad from Alfred Klaus. We'll see if anything will come out of this, as Dennis Groff is 1.5 seconds off Josef Frederik Schulte now. So Groff, I think the pace seems to be drawing out a bit for the German. That's not good at all from Dennis Groff. So we now head out of the final corner, down the start-finish straight. Let's see, is any overtake gonna be able to happen here? Not quite sure as we head down into turn 1 and everything stays put for the time being. We head into, we head out of Ese del Lago and into Orkia again. Parachki still chasing down, and look at Dennis Graf, 2.1 to Josef Frederik Schuto, and I don't know what that is, but Schuto actually is catching up to Jesper Johansson. I think Schuto's just increased the pace from absolutely nowhere. Graf might have to drop back a bit to try and manage his tires. But yeah, that's not good news for Dennis Graf, because now he could suddenly have Enis Parachki knocking. And Parachki is going to try to take advantage from this, obviously. So we'll see what Parachki is going to be able to do now. So we're going to head down the start-finish straight. DRS active for Enis Parachki. And heading into turn number 1, though, doesn't come quite yet. For Enis Parachki, he's going to have to stay behind and stay vigilant then behind Dennis Graf. Try and look for opportunities to just try and close in as much as possible. We head through Ese del Lago and down into Orkia. I think Parachki runs a bit wide compared to Dennis Graf. Gap is about 0.5 per second now as we head through the SS. Alfred Klaus in close pursuit of the defending world champion as well. As, wow, here's actually a very interesting development then. Josef Frederik Schuto is gaining on Jesper Johansson, and he's actually within a second of Johansson here. So, this could mean that Schuto could be back challenging for the race lead. Obviously, we thought that would only be a one-time thing that we saw at the start, and then Johansson would begin to pull away. But Schuto is actually gaining very, very strongly on him, as here is Alexander Arnold once again on Erik Adelberg. This battle reignited once more as Fernando Tost is now caught up to these two. But Adelberg's going to try to hold off Alexander Arnold. He leaves the space for the German, but into Ese del Lago, it's going to be Arnold on the inside line as they will go wheel to wheel. And it is going to be Erik Adelberg who holds off Alexander Arnold for 9th then. So not badly done from Erik Adelberg. Again holds off Alexander Arnold. But Arnold, if he isn't careful enough, he could maybe face pressure from Fernando Tost, who I believe holds the fastest lap of the race. As Schuto is going to chase down Jesper Johansson now, as he's going to have the DRS enabled, heading down the start-finish straight into turn number 1. Obviously isn't close to try anything just yet, so he'll have to wait a bit further, and we'll see if he is going to be able to catch up. So here's Alexander Arnold. He's going to go on to Erik Adelberg now, heading into turn number 1. Arnold looks to be slightly ahead, but he skips over the curb a tiny bit. That's going to allow Adelberg to retaliate onto the German as we head down the recta transera into Ese del Lago. Now it's going to be Arnold on the outside line. Adelberg jumps over the curb. Is this finally what Alexander Arnold is going to need? It is, and it's going to be Arnold going up into P9. Finally, he gets it done, Alexander Arnold, and he goes up into 9th place. And Arnold now has got 1.4 to Labas Nishkai, so I'm not sure if he is going to be able to catch up. We'll have to see if he is or not in a few laps time, obviously, but at the moment it is quite a big gap to clear, and obviously now he stands at a disadvantage as he doesn't have any DRS as opposed to the man he just overtook, Eric Adelberg, so he'll have to watch out. Labas Nishkai, who was pulled away from obviously the gap or the field behind him, is still trying to get Lewis McIntyre. Seems to be on good pace today, Labas Nishkai, but it is so frustrating. It's just he's stuck behind Lewis McIntyre and hasn't been able to get past. And that is a very, very frustrating feeling when you know that you're good on pace, but you just can't find your way past the other driver ahead of you. Here is Fernando Tost. He could look to drop Eric Adelberg out of the points completely. So we'll see if that is going to happen. Obviously Tost, who has been pretty good on pace today as well. So we're now looking at Laban Zasnishkai. Will this finally be the moment to strike for Zasnishkai? Just have to wait and see. As we now head into turn number 1. Is he gonna be able to do anything here? Into the first corner, the answer is no. Zasnishka just doesn't get close enough. As Daniel Wale, the man who obviously had his run-in with Will Parrish on the opening lap of this race, now could try and get Daniel Fraser for 17th. Battle for the wooden spoon, really, as it is just both drivers trying to get themselves out of last place. Heading into turn 1, Wale isn't quite able to do anything just yet. Got very, very close to that gearbox of Fraser, but just wasn't able to go up and alongside the Haas driver just yet. As we take a look at Labas Zasnishka again. And still Zasnishka isn't able to get past Lewis McIntyre yet. And this is a bit alarming for Labas Zasnishka, because now Alexander Arnold in 9th is catching up to maybe try and gain another position for himself here. So we head into turn number 1, and I think it remains the same. I think McIntyre ran wide. I'm not sure, but I think Lewis McIntyre did run wide into turn number 1. Either way, it hasn't really changed anything just yet for Labas Zasnishka. In fact, you can see how close Alexander Arnold is. I think he's going to try it on the inside line there, but it doesn't quite work for Arnold, and he will have to stay behind them in 9th. As we're looking at Fernando Tost, could look to drop Eric Adelberg completely out of the points. We'll see if he's going to be able to do it then, as Josef Henrik Schuto still within a tenth of Jesper Johansson, but I think it is just the difference of the car that's keeping Johansson, that allows Jesper Johansson to keep Josef Henrik Schuto at bay at the moment. He's gonna have the DRS down into turn number 1. Schuto isn't able to do anything just yet. Here's Alexander Arnold again then, once again closing in on Laban Zasnishkai, but doesn't do anything just yet. So here's Fernando Tost. He's still trying to drop Erik Adelberg out of the points. He's got 10 laps to do it, so he's got ample time to try and get Adelberg, but at the moment then he has to stay behind. I think Adelberg is trying it on Arnold there. I think he had a look on Alexander Arnold. That could maybe invite Fernando Tost to try something there, but the answer is no. As look at this, now you have Josef Fredrik Schuto, who's looking very, very close to Jesper Johansson.
It looks to be very interesting. As I just welcome myself back, I was just eating something, but nonetheless, needs to be a very interesting battle here, as well as at the back. Vale, who unfortunately was involved in that crash early on, was running in the points actually, now trying to salvage what is left of this race, as he brings himself up one position. But the main battle, of course, here now, Schuto has caught back up to Johansson. Can Schuto make 2 wins in the season? Or will Johansson make it his 4th this time around? It's lap 29 out of 39, so I was looking very close there. Sorry for cutting you off, but Schuto, I think, is going to have many more chances here.
Yeah, it definitely is. He is looking good on pace, Josef Fredrik Schuto, and Jesper Johansson could seriously start to worry, not due to Red Bull, not due to his teammate, but a McLaren of Josef Fredrik Schuto. As we're looking at this pack again, Fernando Tost still chasing down Erik Adelberg. We're looking at the man ahead of Adelberg, Alex Arnold, who is looking to get Laban Zasnishkai, but isn't able to do so just yet, as Schuto under 0.4 of a second now, pressurizing Jesper Johansson like no one has done this race. As we head into the stadium section, he's not close enough into Foro Sol, and that gap is still about 0.3. He lost a few tenths through the stadium section, Josef Fredrik Schuto. We'll see if he's going to gain that back. Obviously, both have that Mercedes power plant in the back of their cars, so there's no big power unit difference between the two. Schuto then is just going to have to hope that the DRS is going to carry him long. He's closing in, and he is going to try it onto Jesper Johansson, and they are going to be wheel to wheel into turn number 1 through Esis Moises Solana. They are going to be wheel to wheel, and this could be a brilliant chance for Josef Fredrik Schuto to do something here. Then down the recta transera into Esis del Lago. It's going to be Schuto switching to the inside line. Then through Esis del Lago they go. Schuto's there on the outside line into Orkia. It's going to be Johansson having the inside line. Schuto breaks late, tries to swing it the long way around into the S's. Who's going to come out on top now, as Schuto is going to go side by side with Jesper Johansson. Mercedes versus McLaren here at Mexico City, as they will go wheel to wheel for the race lead, and heading out of the SS, it's going to be Josef Fredrik Schuto taking the lead of the Mexico City Grand Prix, but it's not quite over yet. Johansson's there on the inside line into Foro Sol. Schuto gets it done into the stadium section and takes the lead of the Mexico City Grand Prix.
What the hell just happened? I was speechless. What a move by Schuto there, especially onto a guy like Johansson. You don't see that every day. I mean, 2 excellent drivers fighting, and now it's Johansson. He's not going to be happy about that. He wants to chase Schuto. He doesn't want to lose onto this win, which will get him so much points onto his championship rival. But the Schuto for now is your new race leader.
Oh, and what a turn this Mexico City Grand Prix has taken. Josef Fredrik Schuto now leads here at Autodromo Hermanos Rodriguez from Jesper Johansson in second. This is great news for obviously one man as well. Not only Josef Fredrik Schuto, but Ennis Parachki, as this will mean Johansson will be scoring less points. But we'll see if Jesper will be so adamant at letting that race lead go. He got robbed of the race win at Istanbul, and I think he doesn't want to lose that again here at Hermanos Rodriguez. This is obviously his backyard as well.
Indeed, as now. Well, Schuto's kept on the lead quite well. It's soon enough going to head on to lap 32, so it's not a lot of laps left. I mean, we're about three quarters in of this race. Soon enough, it's gonna come to a close. So Jesper has to act now.
He's gonna have to act now, and he's gonna have to act fast. But I'm not sure if he's gonna be able to. Look at that gap, Giuseppe. It's 1 point. What was it? 1.2. I think it is. You're gonna see it now. Yeah, 1.159 is that gap, and Schuto, against all odds, is pulling away from Jesper Johansson.
And what a turn of events here. I mean, Johansson now has lost out of the shooter. Let's see if Johansson has any response back in his next few laps.
Yeah, I, for one, can barely believe what I'm seeing. It's absolutely incredible work from Josef Fredrik Schuto right now. And, yeah, it is currently Dennis Graf then in third. As we're looking at Fernando Tost just a bit further down the field, he is still trying to chase down Eric Adlerberg. Has a look on the inside line. His teammate Tomas Mandic is there now. He's caught up to this pack, so we'll see if Mandic will be able to do anything there. But back to commenting on the top 5. I have to say, this has been made so much more interesting now because Dennis Graf is 1.7 seconds. Parachki behind. If he now does get past Dennis Graf, he's only going to be one position between himself and his teammate and rival Jesper Johansson. So things would get very, very interesting right now.
I mean, right now, Jesper would only be getting 6 points. Well, only, but it's a lot in their total championship fight onto Parachki. So it would be 12 points ahead. But if Parachki can get past Graf, it would be 3 points gained onto his teammate once again by Jesper. So Jesper would only be ahead by 9 points. So it's a matter of salvaging something for Parachki. But if he can get past Graf and he has the pace to chase after Janssen, let's see what will happen there. And now we're looking back at Wale, of course. Unfortunate for the Chinese driver. You do remember how at the start he was running for the points. Now, as I said beforehand, he's trying to salvage something. Although he's doing not a bad job. As I remember, he was 7 seconds behind the Hasses. Now he's trying to overtake them. So of course we love the spirit by Daniel here, as he tried to go down the inside there onto Album. So you're gonna see now out of the S's. The other S's gonna head into the next corner. He's down the inside. Album here defends well, making it very hard for Wale. He goes down the inside, but will he be able to make the move done? Doesn't seem like it. So Wale now stays 17th.
Yeah, and Daniel Wale, good defense from Victor Album, but with Daniel Wale not quite able to get past just yet. But obviously hope to make this pass at least. But apart from that, it is just, I have to say, it's just a bit of a race to forget for Alfa Romeo here at Hermanos Rodriguez.
Yeah, indeed. Even though it was looking promising after qualifying, but it just happens these days like these, so they'll have to come back the next time around. But now heading on to lap 34. It's only about 6 laps left.
Yeah, time is running out for a lot of these guys, and especially Jesper Johansson, who will have to get a move on if he wants that race lead back from Josef Fredrik Schuto. So we'll see if he is going to be able to do that, as Daniel Wale is still trying to get Victor Album, but just isn't able to do anything just yet.
As Johansson now is back under 1 second of Schuto. I think we mentioned that, but so now I think he will have DRS. Yeah, he does. So the fight might be on once again.
Could very well be on, but Johansson's just gonna have to hope to nail this lap then, to just get as close as possible to Josef Fredrik Schuto. At the moment he's 5/10 off him already down the recta transera. So we'll see what he is going to be able to do. Here's Alfred Klaus then, chasing down Enis Parachki. Parachki in 4th isn't quite able to do anything just yet. So he stays where he is. And then it is Klaus in P5. Daniel Wale then is going to try it on Victor Album now, heading into turn number 1. He's going to go wheel to wheel with the Dane now, as they are going to be side by side through the Moises Solana SS and heading down Recta Chancera. It's going to be Wale on the outside line, now heading into Este del Lago. Let's see if Wale is going to be able to get this done. As heading out of Este del Lago, I think it is Wale with the move done.
And now Johansson actually looks to be even closer to Shuto, so Shuto will have to worry once again.
Is he gonna try it? He breaks late, Jesper Johansson, but he just isn't able to find the opportunity. Enis Parachki was looking to try something on to Dennis Graf there as well, but wasn't able to do anything. As you can see how close Jesper Johansson is to the back of Josef Fredrik Schuto. He is just trying to find every single opportunity he can. Here's Parachki then going for one opportunity onto Dennis Graf, but he's not able to do anything just yet. Here's Luca Farina onto Alfred Klaus. Can't quite do anything again, and Farina loses out.
And now they're going to the S. They tried to go probably around the outside, but no gap was to be seen there. Now they're on to the Recta de Lavalo. Let's see if he can try and move down the inside, or if he's close enough to do so. Not, just about not. Soon enough we're gonna head on to lap 36. No, 37. So the race is soon enough gonna come to a close. Very exciting battles lying ahead of us. And soon enough we're gonna have a conclusion to them. As now it's lap 47. Johansson now with DRS, very close to Shuto. Is it gonna be a move into the first turn? Gonna have to find out. Is he gonna go into the outside or the inside? He goes down the inside. Johansson is the chance for the lead. We have another lead change as Shuto defends. Now to the inside for Shuto. Shuto defends well. Doesn't seem like Johansson got past. Now onto the other DRS, which I don't know why it doesn't work, but nonetheless, gonna head into the Este del Lago. And Shuto has kept the lead very cleverly, but oh, look at that. Johansson had a bit of a look there down the inside. As now into Horquilla they go. Seems like Shuto has kept the lead. Great stuff.
Yeah, Jesper Johansson tried to set himself up there for a few moves, but Shuto, cold as ice, as always, on defense. We've seen so many times this season, Shuto, that man has nerves of steel, and he never cracks under pressure, and he's such a good defender as well. Yeah, Johansson will be trying to throw everything at the Slovakian in these last 2 laps now of the Mexico City Grand Prix, and he's gonna come under pressure once again then, as Johansson will have the DRS. Heading into turn 1, he's gonna be closing in now down the start finish straight. He has the DRS. He's gonna try and go up and alongside the Slovakian now. Into turn number 1 we go. Johansson's there on the inside line. Shuto tries to cover him off on the outside, as they are gonna be side by side. I think Shuto's gonna cover him off heading out of the Moises Solana SS, and yeah, it is gonna be Shuto still holding the lead, but he's gonna come under pressure from Johansson once again into Este del Lago. It's Johansson on the inside line. He's gonna have the inside Shuto heading out of Este del Lago and into Orkia. It's gonna be Johansson trying to go the long way round. Shuto just trying to hold off the 2-time world champion as we head into the SS now, wheel to wheel, as it's Shuto who does hold off Jesper Johansson. Brilliant driving from Josef Fredrik Shuto in the McLaren. You love to see it.
This is probably one of the best battles for the lead I've seen in a while, and it's going down to the wire. It's not over yet. Look at Johansson, he's just there on the rear of Shuto.
it's looking to be another final lap thriller here at Mexico City as we're gonna approach lap 39 out of 39. Josef Frederik Schuto could grab McLaren's second ever win, but Johansson, he has a title to fight for. He wants that fourth win of the season, and we're gonna see now as Johansson will have the DRS one final time heading down the start-finish straight. He's there on the inside line. Schuto tries to cover him up on the outside, heading out of turn 2 and out of the Moises Solana SS. They will be wheel to wheel heading down the Assetto straight. It's gonna be Schuto who's just edging ahead of Jesper Johansson. Johansson, though, is he gonna go to the inside line? Just the Lago, and they make contact. I cannot believe it. Schuto and Johansson, the top two, and Johansson's gonna get away unscathed. Surely that will not slide for Jesper Johansson. Surely. And this is turning into chaos. It's going to be an absolute pileup. What's going to happen here? Farina's up at the second. Klaus is third. This is going to throw the championship into disarray. Oh, I cannot believe that. I absolutely cannot believe that. Drama on the final lap. Parashki's out. Enes Parashki is out of the Mexico City Grand Prix. I think this will not stand at all for Jesper Johansson. 100% there's going to be a penalty there, as he will cross the line in P1, but I think it is going to be the race. I don't think it's going to be the race win for Jesper Johansson, albeit he will cross the line in P1. Luca Farina will come home for his first podium of the season, at least in P2. Alfred Klaus will be third, and Eric Adelberg grabs fourth in this Mexico City Grand Prix. Controversial ending to the Mexico City Grand Prix.
Yeah, I mean, you gotta feel for Schuto. I think that's not gonna, as you said, it's not gonna stand. I mean, I'm speechless right now, but the Schuto is probably very angry at Jesper right now.
Yeah, and I can understand as well. Surely that's not gonna slide by the referees. Not the referees, sorry, wrong sport, the stewards. But yeah, there it is then, a very controversial end to this Mexico City Grand Prix. And these results are provisional, there's still penalties to be sorted out. Jesper Johansson finishes P1 with Luca Farina in second, grabs P2 in this race with Alfred Klaus finishing in third. Eric Adelberg bags a brilliant fourth, a very unexpected fourth for his best ever finish, and then it's Dennis Graf in P5 with Lewis McIntyre in 6th. Fernando Tost with the fastest lap of the race will be 7th with Lamas Osnishka in 8th, and then the two Alpines out of nowhere score points. Kulasek in 9th, and then Gamba rounds out the top 10.
And just outside the top 10, we will find pretty sure the two Aston Martin. No, only Mandic's Aston Martin. I'm sorry. Then we have Broster and Arnold, the two Williamses in 12th and 13th. Wale in 14th, and then the two Haas of Victor Adman and Daniel Fraser. And then, controversially, Schuto and Parashki retired on the last lap. And earlier on, it was Will Parrish and Miran FG.
And so the Mexico City Grand Prix comes to a close then, and I have to say that was certainly a very, very interesting race. I think that race end certainly will be controversial, but it was a very exciting Mexico City Grand Prix nonetheless. And driver of the day, I think I'm going to give it to I think I'm going to give that to Luca Farina. I'm going to be honest. I would love to give it to Josef Frederik Schuto, but he didn't finish the race. I can't really say that I don't know if we can give driver of the day to someone who DNF'd. But if he did finish, I would have given it to Schuto. But since he didn't, I'm going to give it to Farina. I can? Okay, apparently I can. So then I'm going to give it to Josef Frederik Schuto, because I think... Oh man, that is just so disappointing for Schuto, but it was still a brilliant performance from him. Qualifying and race, super unlucky. And yeah, he will get driver of the day from me. What about you, Giuseppe?
I was gonna say the same. I'd say Schuto. I mean, brilliant just to stay there all the time. Then he took the lead, but at the end, yeah, we're gonna have to investigate that. Although my vote can only go to Schuto. Otherwise, I'd agree with Farina. I mean, he kept out of trouble. He was there all race, just did his race. So he's an honorable mention in my eyes, but I'd say it's Schuto, definitely. It's not because he DNF, it would have been him nonetheless for me. So yeah, I'd give Schuto the driver of the day.
Yeah, and so a very exciting Mexico City Grand Prix comes to an end. Thanks so much for watching. Next round of Formula 1, we will head to the Brazilian Grand Prix, to Autodromo José Carlos Pache in Brazil. So make sure to not miss that. Until then, I have been Mira.
And I've been Giuseppe.
And we will see you for the next round of Formula 1, the Brazilian